That glass is masked off. All you need is some, cheap Home Depot, Lowe's stuff, paint and stuff. That's all you need to do. Some blue tape, just to keep the interior from getting all the dust that's going to come off from this fiberglass filler that's in there. Windows are closed, everything else. So I'm going to take this down and out. It's going to go all the way to the end. I'll take a 3-inch sander and sand out that fiberglass filler. Now you see that? That's silver. That means I used all metal in here. And all metal wasn't all that great either. So don't use all metal either. That's also garbage. After I get this all sanded out, cleared down, I'll show you what it looks like. Getting ready to weld. Years ago, when I did this, I didn't completely remove all the lead. There's lead here, and there's lead here, and I used the all metal in here. Now you can see the all metal is gray. You can see where there's a little bit of rust in there. You can see where there's a little delamination over here. It's coming apart, and I'm going to use a torch to get the most of the lead out, and then I'll take a wire wheel and a wire brush and get most of the rest of it out. But the all metal, being a polymer, will come out pretty easy with some heat. And of course I covered the car in fiberglass welding blanket, so I protect the interior because there's no windshield back here right now. Of course, I'm going to have a little fire in there. But that's right. Yeah, the all metal. This stuff is just plastic. It's going to come right the hell off. See? Look at that. Nothing. This is, look at the rust underneath it. See the little bit of rust in there? That's why this garbage doesn't work. It's got to be either fiberglass, short strand, and even that is not going to take the stress of a frame member like this. It's not going to do that. It's going to crack eventually. Only steel, only metal, like lead, it works like steel. Period. Now when I fill this in with steel, it's going to be just like the other side, as you saw in the other video. Even though it had to be redone, it was still a good experiment. It took a few years to show up, but I wanted it to do it that way so other people can see that it's either lead or use the actual steel and weld the seam completely in. Weld the seam completely in is better than the lead because lead in high heat situations will melt. I have seen it actually bubble. Like if you live somewhere like in Arizona or Texas where the temperatures get anywhere around 114, 115 degrees in the hot sun, I wouldn't be surprised if this lead wouldn't start to liquefy. After all, it's only about 800 or 900 degrees it takes for this stuff to actually liquefy. But it has to be removed in order for me to fill in all the way up here and fill in all the way up in the back right here. So I have to put some heat into this so I can get this lead to start moving. Like so. I will reuse this lead. I will save it. I'm not going to throw it away. I always recycle it. I use it to make other things. Now continue taking the lead all the way out the seam, just like this, until the seam's completely lead free. One way to do it is to use a wet rag. Take a wet rag, Get the lead to the liquefied point and then just wipe it down. The nice thin amount of lead that's there will come off with a wire wheel pretty easy. And you gotta wear a mask when you're doing that because this stuff is poisonous. It can make you stupid, basically. It can retard you. So where it hits the ground, I will be taking the lead and recycling it and using it for other things. I'll make other things out of it. Okay, this is what the seam looks like with 99% of all the lead removed. Now you understand why the rear windshield back glass had to come out. Because it goes all the way out here and it has to be welded from here, from this point here, all the way through up into here, which comes into the glass right here. This is going to have to remove the glass a little bit, lower this, take the rubber weather strip out a little bit, remove this trim, and I have to get some of this last bit of lead out. Now this proves to anybody that if it's not lead that's being used for this, and you're using plastic filler, eventually it will fail because the car, this car for instance is 3,800 pounds. You know how much flex there is in this roof? How many bumps you hit? Right now, you see how hot this is? Okay? So either lead, okay, or take the seam and actually put a metal piece in here and weld it in like it's on the other side. That's permanent on the other side. Now, there's a lot of famous YouTubers and a lot of subscribers that tell you to put plastic in here. They're wrong. Okay, this is after using the concrete metal prep. Okay, you can get it from, it's called Clean Strip, makes it. You can get it from Home Depot or Lowe's. You put that in here, and it's going to give it a white haze, which is okay. You're just going to take it off with a wire wheel. It'll kill all the rust that's inside these little pits and stuff. That's before I spray it with the copper primer before welding. This is clean up, nice, get it all nice and ready. Because we're going to put that patch in. We're going to take some poster board, a long piece of poster board, and put it in here, and then take something and try to make a pattern out of it. Okay, I like the U-pole number 2 weld, copper weld through. I like that, and I like the medallion self-etching weld through. That's another one I like to use. But in this case, I wanted to use the copper. And I used to work in retail, so I have a lot of these old advertising, cardboard, you know, signs. I'm going to cut a piece and put it in here and lay it in here and imprint it, take a scribe and go across it and make a pattern of this so I can cut this out of steel. I got another roof, using the roof like this, and I can make the same thick, it'll be the same thickness, it'll be actual more porous steel, right? And I'll weld that into this, you know, that'll be the next thing. Okay, I cut a piece of that poster board, appropriate length and size. This is just a screen. You use it to a roller just to put the screens in, and like your door and your house. When you replace a screen on a frame, and all you do is make the lines here like this, indentations. You're going to cut slightly oversized. Damn dog, be quiet. Go chase a squirrel. Okay, after you've rolled in the edges and got it all in, I take a carpenter's pencil and I go around and I mark it off. When you cut this pattern, you want to cut it a slight bit, maybe, you know, 1/8 oversized, and then you can grind it and make it fit when you cut it out of the steel, so you can get where you want. Alright, I'll cut this out, then I'll put it on the metal, and I'll come back with that piece of metal and I'll start fitting that piece of metal in. The more time you spend cutting and trimming it out and making sure it fits perfectly, the better off you're at. Now I'm going to just put it in and tack it in just a few spots, because this piece will move around on you. So it's best to just tack it in as you go. And then if it does move and you don't like where it is, you can always, unweld it and grind it down and take it out of the way. Both sides need to be copper filled with the primer, inside and out. So now I just have to put a couple of tacks in here. I'll use this ground to hold it while I weld it. I'll start tacking it along the two ends, one here and one on the other side and one in the middle, and then I'll work my way back and forth. I'll be switching back and forth, and I'll be using the blow gun to cool down my welds to minimize on any of warping. That did it. That worked out. Right there. That feels about right. I can feel it through the glove. Just a couple tacks to hold it in place. Right there is a little important. Right there. In a spot like this here, where you weld it here and you weld here, and you need this spot here to come up a little bit, you get in here and you pull it up a little bit. You bend down the piece a little bit to get the curvature of this, and start tacking here and along here and along here, but don't finish this until you get the level correct. And once you get the level, then you can weld this in, bring this a little bit down and make that last seam across. I'll continue welding and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, now it's been completely stitch welded in, front to back. And on the little side, we're going to now grind it down, shape it, and then we'll put a coat of short strand fiberglass filler on it to seal it. Alright, now that it's all nice and ground down, we're going to mix up some fiberglass filler, and we're going to fill that stuff in. This will seal the welds, make it waterproof. This is not the final finish, it's just the structural. There's only about 30 seconds to fill, actually, not a quarter like it was before, so it's actually going to hold on to it better and it won't crack. And since it's actually waterproof, it works very well. Most of this will come off. It's basically just to seal the welds. Then a light skim coat a regular filler, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, this is what it looks like after you put in the short strand fiberglass filler. This is what's going to give it some strength in there for the finishing filler that goes on top. It's going to be regular filler. And I'm not going to use the most expensive filler. I think the can I'm using right now is only at $14.99 a can. But I want to thank Bondo Billy for turning me on to the 888S Astro Mini air signer. Made in Taiwan, but this little guy kicks butt. Love that sander. It makes quick work of this. Next level of putting some body filler on it, and it'll be straight out. And I'll show you how it looks like when I prime it, and then we'll look down and see how straight it is. Alright, well, there's the finished product right there. As you can see, it's nice and smooth. There's a couple of imperfections. There's one right here, a couple scratches right here. There's a little indentation right there. That's no big deal. The rest came out really nice. This is wax and grease remover, and you just take it and put it on there to simulate clear coat. And you can tell if there's any imperfections, really. As you can see, that primer will have to be there for a while. And as you can see, that looks really nice. There's a little bit right here. I can fix that later on. Mirror same primer, high build. Everything will be coming out really nice, but for right now I gotta just put it away because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish painting it this year.